Well, this is not what I expected when we went into the transfer window for Season 3 with Dartford. It's time for us to start with Club 2 of my career. Welcome to Tranmere Rovers. How are we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 1 of Club 2 of the MyCareer series here on Football Manager 2023. Yes, you heard that right. It is part 1. If you haven't watched any of the series so far, don't worry too much. This is a good jumping on point because we have just changed clubs. We started the series with Dartford in the National League South. I couldn't think of the right word then. National League South. We got promoted to the National League. We then got a shock promotion last season in the final couple of games to the Football League. But then, during the transfer window, during the period between National League and Football League, a couple of clubs came in for us. One was Southend. We weren't interested in, sorry Southend fans, because they were in the National League and they weren't getting promoted. But then Tranmere Rovers came in for us. League 1 team who've just been relegated, so they'll be in League 2 next season. The same league as Dartford are going to be. So those games could be a bit spicy. We'll definitely try and play one of those. But they're a club that are going to be set up to go to the next level of League 1 again. They were offering more money as well. It's a difficult one because we kind of have to do what we have to do. And I do think we've made the right decision. Time will tell that, obviously. We're only expected to do mid-table this season. But yeah, so as a result of that, you can go back and watch the previous editions of the save if you haven't caught up already. I will pop a link up in whichever corner it is. I always forget. The one that's directly above my head. And if you want to go and watch that, perfect. I would be very happy if you did. But if you just want to start here, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to start here. I'm very happy for us to do that. But before we get through and start anything else, there is one crucial thing that we need to do. And that is work out exactly how we're going to be travelling to our new club. And as you can see, we're not going to be. We're going to have to move. It's a good old distance to get there. If we were going by the recommended travel route, it will take a moment to load. If we're driving, it's a 4-hour drive. Via the M6, it's a 4-hour and 7-minute drive. We could fly there from £90 per flight for 1 hour, London to Manchester. I don't necessarily know if that's an option I want to do. We know about driving. What about public transport? Can we get there? Apparently we can't get there via public transport. What if I fancy a little walk? 69 hours. I am not built for a 69-hour walk. What about cycling? Not going to lie, I'm not a cyclist. 20 hours, 11 minutes. I think we're going to have to move house. And with our £1,000 a week salary, that's going to be £52,000 per year. We can borrow up to £247,000, which is the money we're going to be looking to use to purchase a property in Tranmere. And straight away, we found a property. £245,000 means we've got a couple of £1,000 left over to spend on a little bit of Lego. It's in Birkenhead. It's not far away at all. We are officially here in Tranmere. Happy days. Now, I say happy days. I don't know if I look too happy about it. I am gutted to be leaving Dartford. But again, applying realism to the series if I was a real football manager. Thinking about the career. Dartford, staying at Dartford gets a relegation on the CV. Going here potentially has another promotion on the CV. We're unlikely to get relegated to the National League. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it is unlikely. So, there's all of the stuff in here that you can read if you want to. We all know what it says by now on Football Manager. It's all praising me and probably pointing out some faults as well. And it also mentions that Richie Wellens was considered the favourite, but we got it instead. Questions will be raised as to why we decided to move from Dartford. More money and better prospects for the future. Right, let's move on. Let's have a look. So we are a 2-star reputation team. Media prediction 24th. Remember, that's for League 1. We haven't actually ticked over to the new season yet. So, apparently we were predicted to finish 24th. So, bear that in mind. But we are here at Prenton Park. 16,582 people. That is ridiculous, quite frankly. The budgets are ridiculous compared to what we are used to as well. I'm very excited to be here. I'm still a little bit gutted that we are not carrying on with Dartford, but it was the right thing to do. This is apparently the squad that is the best one for us. Again, it's set up in a 4-3-3. I think that's because that's what we've identified as using. Captain is Hemmings, who I can't actually see in the starting lineup, which is not a good sign. Max Fisher is apparently the top goal scorer. I can't see him in the starting lineup. And Ben Hockenhull, defender, is our apparently highest earner. And we've got this John Nolan guy from the rookie. If you've watched the television series The Rookie, you'll get that. Currently on loan at Carlisle. Lovely stuff. Again, we've already had a look at this. Basically, all they want us to do this season is mid-table. I have seen that somewhere. It doesn't say it on here, but basically they want us to grow the club's reputation. Defensively solid, it's only favoured, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as we can outscore teams, I'll be happy. But yeah, the sports culture, they want us to be defensively solid, so we do need to get some decent defenders in. They want us to be competitive against Bolton if we play them. They want us to get the better of Wrexham if we play them. They want us to get to the League 2 playoffs and record a top half finish. They don't want a lot, do they, the fans? But we'll do what we can to try and appease them. All of this will stay the same. We'll do the press conference and all that. But here we are. We are in Tranmere. Happy days. I am excited. But obviously, there is a bit of me that is sad that we have ended up leaving. So, in terms of the best players, we've got a group of players who are 3-star or above. It'll be interesting to see whether these guys are actually what a 3-star player here is compared to a 3-star player at Dartford. Ross Doohan is apparently our best player as a goalkeeper. I mean, he didn't have that good a time last season. He kept 15 clean sheets, to be fair, did Ross. That's not bad for a team that got relegated. I mean, his one-on-ones are 12. We all know how I feel about one-on-ones. He's only 6'1", but he obviously did a decent job. To be fair, in 109 appearances, he's only conceded 66. I do suspect that is because he doesn't count anything before the game actually started. But he's a Scottish international. That's exciting. He looks pretty decent. Ethan Bristow, left back, is the next best player. He looks pretty solid, actually. I mean, compared to what we had before, he looks pretty solid indeed. Formerly of Reading. Isaac Alofi? Yeah, Isaac. Big Isaac. Striker. Scored 5 goals last season. We need to improve on that, definitely. He looks like a decent player. I actually see him looking at a bit more of a winger, to be honest with you. 24 years old. Looks decent enough. Josh Hawkes is the next best player. 4-star potential. 3-star current ability. Winger. Not the best technically, but he's got a little bit of physicality about him. Can play in the middle as well. He's a bit of an all-over player, really. Didn't really play a lot last season. Maybe he'll get a bit more game time in this division. Tom Davies, 32 years old. The next player. I mean, we'll use him, but he's probably going to be someone we'll look to move on. 6'2". He's got decent defending stats. If he can stay at that level for this season, we might consider using him. Jack Blake is next. Another 3-star player. There's a lot of 3-star players, so we may need to try and look and find some players who are a bit better than that. He's got great long shots, though. He's in the team just because of that. He wants to leave, though. So we do need to be aware that some of these players are going to want to leave. This is something I probably should have taken into account before I accepted the offer. But some of these players will want to leave. If they do, it's fine. We'll just rebuild the club because we've got the finances, I think, to be able to do it. He doesn't want to leave. Kieran Morris, he's a G just because of that. Bit older, 30 years old, but he looks decent enough. We've got some decent players. Ben Hockenhull, I think, was the one who's on the most money. And he wants to leave, but it's a minor issue, so we might be able to convince him to stay, and I hope so, because he does look decent. 6'1", looks pretty good to me. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can put these guys into a decent team. We've got enough centre-backs. We've got 1 left-back, 2 left... Well, technically 2 left-backs. We've got a couple of right-backs. Oh, we've got another left back there. We've got players that we can probably fit into the system that I like to use, but we definitely are going to have to strengthen things a little bit. In terms of contracts that are expiring, we have got a few that are going to be going out very, very soon, so we need to consider these guys here. Actually, I'm kind of content to let all of them go. None of them are actually that good. Kane Hemmings is the one I would consider, but even then, I think we're probably happy to let him go at this point. So these guys will go. They'll free up a bit more of the wage budget, which, by the way, is not as high as I thought. Oh, that's the available wage budget. I was going to say, it's got to be more than that. So that's the one thing we have to bear in mind, is that the wage budget is quite high compared to what we normally have, but we don't have as much to play with. So if we let those players go, we have a look at the rest of the squad, because at the moment, we've got a reasonable size squad of 28. We can definitely let some of those go and replace a few of them. In terms of the finances of the club, I mean, that's the most money I've ever seen in this save so far. £2.1 million in the bank. We have lost £236,000 this month. Projection-wise, it is on the way up. So we've come to a club that's in a decent position, actually. It's got no debt at all. It has got a couple of loans that are being paid back. But it's got no debt at all, which is exciting. I think we've come to a decent club here, to be honest. I think we've made the right decision, I think, just looking at this immediately. In terms of the under-18s, what have we got to work with? We've got a couple of players who look pretty decent, who will probably be moving on for loan, a couple of these guys, just so they get some first-team football. I'm very excited by what I see at the moment. The backroom team looks okay. We've got one too many physios, which doesn't make sense because I had the right amount when they offered me the... Oh, I don't know. We got a few positions we can definitely look to advertise for. In fact, I'm going to do that now. So let's make sure we get some scouts in. Get that covered. We've got a technical director when apparently we don't need one. We need a sports scientist. I don't know if we need a sports scientist, but we'll definitely advertise for one. Everything over here is fine. We'll get a performance analyst, which I don't think we've ever had at Dartford. So that'll be nice. All of this is definitely for League One. So it'll be interesting to see how this all is affected when we get to League Two. When that changeover is made. When is the start of the new season? Transfer window opens on the 9th for League One. And the beginning of the new season is... Well, so the 1st of July. We know it's the 1st of July. I don't know why I felt the need to look at that. Right. I am going to put this lot into a squad. We're going to see whether we can get the team sorted. We're going to see if we can convince some of those players who want away to stay. And then we'll identify what we need to do to this squad to try and get promoted back to League One. Couple of things to quickly address before we go any further. I have changed the border around the camera that I am using. I kept it as black and white, and then I realised that Tranmere's kits actually is white with a bit of blue in there. So I've tried to reflect that on there. Hopefully that's okay for any Tranmere fans watching. The other thing is, something I didn't address, which I... be honest with you, I probably should have thought about when we took this job, is that not a lot of these players are going to be very happy about dropping down a division. And that has turned out to be the case. I don't know whether I will still have the email. And we are trying to move a few players on. Yeah, we are. We've still got the email. So this is the list of players who are currently unhappy. And I think every single one, it is because we were relegated. So we have had a chat with some of them. Some of them, it's definitely gone better than others. As you see, the club atmosphere and the managerial support are not very happy. Are not very good. But you can see there's a list of players here who aren't happy. We've convinced one or two of them, Ethan Bristow being one of them, to hold off until we get a reasonable offer in. I think we've agreed that with one player. We tried it with a couple more, it didn't work. And with the others, we just said, we're not letting you go. So... we've got a lot of work to do. So some of these players who are annoyingly some of our better players, definitely. Ethan Bristow is one who I really don't want to lose, but there's some potential in some of these boys as well. We could be losing some of them, which is a bit of a frustration. We are moving some players on, though. We have got Bailey Clements, who looks like he's on the way out. We've got him potentially going out on loan. Some of these players are on loan just to get them out of the club and getting some experience where they're not going to be used. 60k for Tom Brewitt, we're not going to use him, so we're letting him go. That's no problem. Max Fisher's going to go out on loan, and Charlie Jolly is going to go out on loan as well. Just trying to make some space in the squad. Get that wage budget up a little bit more. We have adjusted the budgets a little bit, so we've got a bit more wage budget. Again, the second that the 1st of July comes around, we're going to be looking at free transfers. We're going to be asking our director of football to try and bring some good boys in who we can try and get into this squad. As it stands, there is a lot of work to do, if we're being honest. Assuming we don't lose any players, I've worked it out that we have got almost an entire first team squad and then a couple of players spare. And that's assuming we keep this Mateusz Hulet. I apologise, I've butchered that name. Mateusz Huels. That's assuming we have him as a backup goalkeeper and Ross Doohan actually stays. He's one of the ones who is unhappy. So we've got a fair bit to do. We've got a fair amount of work to do in terms of rebuilding the squad. It might take next season to get promoted because of the way that the current club atmosphere is. But it might actually be for the best if we get some of these players with decent offers in for them, that we might end up letting some of them go. Again, Ethan Bristow, we've said we'll let him go if £875,000 is offered. The one problem with this is, got a release clause of £425,000, which, considering how much money we would get offers for players at Dartford, that's a decent amount of money. But I would quite like a little bit more, if I'm honest. I mean, currently, we would get 100% of that, which is good. So we get a decent amount of money and we can start looking to buy some players in. But yeah, the 1st of July can't come quickly enough so we can try and fill the rest of this squad. Again, I am committing to this 4-3-3 for now. It's the formation that we used. I haven't put any tactical stuff in just yet, but it's going to be a similar formation to what we used at Dartford, similar system to what we used at Dartford. Hopefully, it will do well. But yeah, roll on the 1st of July. Hopefully, between now and then, nothing else dramatic will happen. And when we get to the 1st of July, we can start looking at some transfers. 1st of July is here. I will show you some transfer stuff in a minute, but before we do that, let's meet the players, but don't we? Let's actually say hello to them. We'll have a look at this first, then we'll go through all of the stuff I have been doing or been trying to do anyway. We'll introduce ourselves. They look quite happy to see me. I'm quite happy about that. I mean, I kind of just want to say, we're just gonna try and improve the entire team, but we'll just say that one. Lawrence is the only one who's irritated by that. We want. I'm tempted to say playoffs, but also I think top half is probably the most sensible thing to do because that's what the board want. But having just been relegated, I kind of want to say playoffs. Yeah, boys. Yeah, that's what I want. And I'm happy with the code of conduct. I mean, I've never had anyone complain about the code of conduct before. And that's sorted some morale issues out. Again, remember, a lot of this club was very unhappy because it's just been relegated. So the more we can get that sorted before the start of the season, the better. In terms of transfer stuff, the majority of the stuff has been players leaving the club. If I go to... So we've released a few players. We've also had a few other players leave as well. I don't know. I can't remember what the context was of those, though. I mean, we've let a few players go. So if we go to sales... The wrong things to do. If we go to last season towards the end of it, you can see we let a few players go here on loan. We let Tom Brewitt go. I think you saw that actually. So yeah, a few other players have left as well. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on. So in terms of transfers in, we've made one permanent transfer so far. It's not the best transfer in the world, but it's this guy here, Seb Ferdinand. I was looking at him and thinking he looked really good, but I was thinking about how he'd look at Dartford. This is where we know how big the jump is, because this guy would start for Dartford. And he's a 2.5-star player. He's decent. He'll do a job for us. He's got potential. He will grow. But he's not quite as good as I thought he would be. Now, having said that, £350 a week, bargain in that respect. But I do think he will do a job. He gets the game time. He will grow. Have we got any offers in for anyone at the moment? I mean, we're trying to bring this guy... No, that's not the one I'm thinking. I'm thinking of this guy. Try and bring this guy back in. We'd actually let this guy go. And we're trying to bring him back on trial, but he doesn't want to come back. Josh Hawks had an offer from Portsmouth. I would quite like to keep Josh Hawks, just because he's got a bit of potential. If they come in and match the valuation, however, I will let him go. I will let him go. But not until that valuation has been met. And he's agreed with that as well. So now, we're going to go through and we're going to see whether there's any decent players who are available. Let's just see what we've got. So, 3 players immediately on the free transfer list. We're going to offer all of those. Well, I'll do all of the offering for trial afterwards. So, let's just do every position and let's just see what our director of football has got. I mean, he's getting 3 each time, which suggests that we're definitely getting some decent players in. None of these guys have been scouted already, though, so that is one thing we have to bear in mind. We're just going to bring every single one of these guys in and we'll just see what we've got, because we do need, effectively, an entire other 11, if we're being completely honest. And it's going to take a while for us to gel. That's my only concern this season, is it will take a while for us to gel. Now, are there any players here that we're familiar with? On first glance, no, because we've got nothing with a recommendation, but there's a lot of players here. I might even do an attacking midfielder one as well. And these, of course, are only free transfers. So, this is what, oh, we've got one here, actually. Mark Helm, a playmaker, 22 years old, A+ rating. Tell you what, he looks pretty decent. He looks very decent. Released by Burnley. He played at Rochdale last season. Where are Rochdale again? Rochdale are in League 2. So, he's used to this level. Never played a game. He played for Man United, played. He was on the books of Man United recently. He can play in the middle. Decent passing. Vision's not the best. Long shots are okay. He likes long-range free kicks. He's a good free kick taker. I think, number one, we're going to offer him a trial. Just to narrow that range down a little bit. But he could be a decent one, I think. He could be a very decent one. Right. I'm going to offer all these guys trials. I'm going to bring them all in. We're going to try and sift through them as the season goes on. And hopefully, there's a couple of gems in there. Fingers crossed there are, anyway. Yeah, the trialists who we could get in are in. There are a few players who decided to go elsewhere, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. So, out of them, I've had a very quick flick through, but not looked in detail. There's a few who look decent, a few not so much. So, we've got a few players who are going to be 3-star minimum, maybe even 3.5-star. I mean, apparently Mark Helm is 3.5-star guarantee, and he's good enough to be a championship player in the future. And I do think this is one I'm going to be putting an offer in for. Do you know what? We're doing it now. We're going to go in for an offer now. Wants to be an important player. I'd prefer you to be a regular starter. Would you be willing to take that? You would. Excellent. The problem is I don't know about these signing on fees and agent fees. They're really high for me, but I don't know if at this level they are actually really high. I don't know. We'll try 1.8. We'll go low to begin with. He wants a really high appearance fee. What we might do is we might try and balance those out a little bit after this. The assist fee, let's put down to 200. Team of the year, I'm quite happy for you to have 5. Substitute fee, I'd rather lower that down. We'll give you a promotion fee of 10%. And we might raise it up. You want 10 assists, you want £6,500. We'll give you 5. You want a release clause for teams higher up than us. I'd quite like it to be $1 million. A non-promotion release clause. So you've got confidence in us. You think we'll get promoted. I'd rather that be 750. Goal bonus, we'll give you that as well, just to try and sweeten the pot. It's not going to be a quid though. I'm not a monster. We'll make it 200. We'll also give you, got an assist bonus, haven't you? So we'll give you a goal bonus as well. You can give you 15 goals. Make it a bit of a challenge for you. You can have another 5k. That seems fair to me. I mean, that's a lot of money, I think, personally. That's a lot of money. I'll tell you what I'll do as well. You have 2,000s. For 2 years of your time, how's that sound? Sound good enough, obviously. Okay, we ended up going on this offer. We've given him the wage that he wants. We've got a lower appearance fee. We lowered down the goal and assist bonuses. We lowered a bunch of other things down as well. And we've actually got a £1 million release clause for him from any team in a higher division. We've also got a non-promotion release clause, which is only £250,000 cheaper than that. So actually, personally, I'm all right with that. Because he looks like a heck of a player. And having someone with that free kick ability... Technique's only 12, but that free kick ability helps. Also, decent stamina. He ain't going to get tired too much. I quite like the look of him. I think he'll be a decent player if we can indeed get him. So, that was him. There's also a few other players as well. Kieran Evans looks decent. He looks like he could be a good one if we hang on to him. Apia Forson as well. Looks like he could be good. Will Greenish, jury's out. We'll see how he goes on his trial. Same with Okonkwo. Okonkwo? Yeah, Arthur Okonkwo. Good efforts, too. Well done. Rohan Luthra, maybe not so much. Hey, Joe Hay looks pretty decent. I'd like to look at him as well. Adol Offia, probably not. But again, if he's on the higher end of that current ability, maybe, just maybe. Sam Barnes, again, the potential tempts me. Get some of these guys with the good potential, but not very good at the moment attributes, on a cheap deal where they don't expect any game time. We can loan them out. I'd be tempted to. Aaron Presley looks decent, though. And straight away, I'm thinking... his finishes on the higher end now. I'd be tempted to put in an offer for him. But again, we don't need to put an offer in for any of these guys just yet because we've just got them in on trials. So we don't need to commit anything just yet. Thierry Nevers is someone who I know in the past has been decent at this level. So we might go in for him possibly. Put an offer in for him. Matthew Bondswell, 22 years old, can play all across the back line. I mean, he feels like a no-brainer if he actually is that good. Nico Gordon, probably not. But again, that potential looks decent. Probably not Joe Gibson, sorry. Josh Thomas as well. Maybe, maybe not. Amari Samuels, possibly. Probably not Honda Mark. I don't really feel that one. Josh Reed looks decent. Aaron Lowe looks decent. Charlie McNeil could be okay. Killian Phillips could be alright. And Raksaki, I believe, could be okay, but also might not be. We've got a decent bunch of players in. It gives us a massive squad. We actually had to turn down one of the trials because we actually had too many. We've got 30 trial lists here. I think if I highlight all of them, it'll let me go all the way to the bottom. No, it won't. But if I go all the way to the top, got 29 trial lists. It won't let me reach the 30th one, I don't think. So it's a lot of players at the club. We need to see how many of them actually are going to be decent enough. I also need to make sure that I can go on the training camp because currently none of them are on there. So give me a moment while I sort that out. There we go. Completed squad list. I've included as many of the trial lists as I can who look decent. And I've also excluded a lot of the players. Well, I say a lot of the players. Some of the players who either are going to be leaving, I'm looking at potentially moving on, and also Kane Hemmings, who's currently out of contract but still at the club, which I don't really understand. And you know what? I'm going to move him on now because, and I feel like this is going to upset people. We are going to move him on. How do I do that? How exactly do I do that? Is it because I think he's the captain? I think that might be the problem. Do we just release on a free? Set for release? Do that. I feel like I might have released him. Do I do continue now? No idea. No idea at all. But that leaves us with a much healthier selection of players. So, let me just put some of these trial lists in. Obviously, we're not going to get all of them. But let's put some of these trial lists in and let's see what the squad looks like with them. Now, bearing in mind, that 11 is full of players who we don't have the full ratings for yet. We're only going really on the gold stars. We're not looking at the white stars or the silver stars. We're just looking at the gold stars. That doesn't look too bad, to be honest. That doesn't look too bad. Not the strongest. But again, we've got our first team down here. That would effectively be rotation option. So if we were to swap them round, that's what the team looks like with mostly... In fact, there's one I've missed there. That's what the team looks like with 99% of the players that we're looking to hold on to for the rest of this season. Charlie McNeil is in there because we actually, after releases, don't have another striker. So we are going to have to sign more than one striker unless we count Isaac Alaofi. We'll go with Alaofi, who only scored 5 goals for us last season. Probably played out wide, but also they didn't play very well last season. So there is just the fact that they might not played well. So that is the team. Bear in mind, however, Alaofi, Hockenhull, and Duhan all want to leave. They're all really unhappy as well. They really, really want to leave. Ethan Bristow is the one we've promised, if we get a bid of £875,000, we will let him go, even though he's got a release clause much lower than that. It's a bit of an issue, I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you look as well, the players that we've still got left in the squad. Kane Hemmings, obviously, we're not too sure why he's still here. Freddie Sears, formerly a player who I remember was looking, I was going to say West Ham, Coventry. I remember him from those days. 34 years old. He's not going to do anything for us. I'd very much like to move some of the players on along with him. In fact, we're going to pop him on the transfer list now. Don't care what it is. Apparently, he's only recently signed for us. I didn't sign you. That means it doesn't count. When did you sign? I don't understand. When did you sign? Because I didn't do it. Last season. Well, there you go then. You had a season with us. Get out the door. So, I'm going to play through a couple of friendlies. Well, I'm going to let my assistant play through them. We're going to see if we can narrow down some of these star ratings for some of these guys here. And hopefully we're going to sign some of these players. Someone who I'm definitely looking at is someone like Nathan Holland. He looks like he would be decent. He's 26 years old. He's got the ability, I think, now, whereas a lot of these guys have got the ability for the future. So, yeah, I need to have a sit back and work out exactly what we need from this selection of trialists here. Have a sneaky look on the loan list as well and see what we can do with that. So, when we've got a bit more to go on, and also when I've worked out the tactic over on this side, I'll be back. And I imagine it won't be before the first game of the season. I imagine I'll be back once or twice before then, but we'll see. I might be seeing you for the first game of the season, which, by the way, is against Sutton United in the League 2. I don't know why I said it like that. What I was going to say was the next game after that is against Huddersfield in the EFL Cup, our first EFL Cup game of the save, against Championship Huddersfield. Huddersfield? Use your words, Stu. Anyway, I'm going to go and try and do some wheeling and dealing in the transfer market, and I'll see you in a moment. And just like that, the time's kind of disappeared, and it is time for the first game of the League 2 season against Sutton United away from home. We haven't got all the business done that we wanted to get done, but we have got a decent amount of it. So let me talk you through some of the new signings that we have made. Now, you know about some of them already, but I'm just going to go through all of them really quickly. Liam Burt, we signed on a free transfer. Again, we spent no money so far. Liam Burt's in as a free transfer. He's a winger, decent enough winger. He's not going to be spectacular for us, but he'll do a job. 521 caps for Scotland. Decent all-round player. He'll do a job for us. Looks okay in pre-season. Also signed Nico Valente on loan from Ipswich. Could be a decent player for us with the potential, that determination, and that pace will do a decent job, I think. Decent passing as well. Missing a few areas of attributes that I'd quite like. I mean, his stamina is woeful, but I think he could be someone who could be a game changer if we get the ball to him and he runs down the wing. Matthew Bonswell. This guy, we had some competition for, but we managed to tie him down to a deal, which I'm very happy with. We'd have to agree to him being a star player, which means he's going to be our right back, because we've already got a good left back, and if we don't sell that left back, this guy's not going to have a place in the team unless we play him as a right back, which he can do. He can do, although he's left-footed. He can do it, and I think he'll be a decent player. He's got the potential to be a decent chap. Sam Barnes, another player we had competition for, but we got him over the line. Central defender. He came to us, well, on a free, but formerly of Blackburn and Marine as well. Scoring 1 goal for Marine. Didn't make an appearance at Blackburn, though. But he is in. I think he'll do a decent job and, again, has room to grow. Keenan Appiah Forson. We had to get him in for a second trial spell because after the first one, we couldn't get to an agreement. But get to an agreement we did. And the Ghanaian is in. Capped at under 23 level for Ghana. Tripped on my words then. He will come in as one of our midfielders. Looks very, very tasty in my personal opinion. We've also signed this guy, Josh Phillips, on loan from Manchester City, a new gen. And I'm not going to lie, I've just signed him because he looks like a decent new gen for this level. He's got 15 finishing, 14 technique. He's got some good flair. He's going to be a rotation striker, don't get me wrong. But I think he could rotate himself into some good situations. I think he looks decent enough. If that current ability goes up, I think he could be a little superstar for us. We've also signed Joe Cotterill from Swansea. He's a central midfielder. I was looking for him to be the advanced playmaker. Well, we are looking at him to be that. He's more of a deep line playmaker, as you can see on the screen right there. But I do think he has the ability to go on and do things for us. High determination as well. And I have been looking at that as something that could be good. Something, if we go behind in games, we can use to kind of burst forward and try and get a result back. I'm quite happy to have him on board. And Marcel Lewis is the final one we've had through the door at the moment. Back up in midfield, back up on the wing. I think he can play up front. He's a decent player to have who'll do a job for us, I am sure. There is also someone else. Oh yeah, I missed Okonkwo. We'd signed Okonkwo as well. Okonkwo, got backup goalkeeper. Again, I don't know how many of these you've seen. You might have guessed by the change of attire, it's a different day. So we've signed him as well as a backup goalkeeper. I mean, he might be our first choice, I don't know. The moment, star rating wise, he is definitely second best. But our first choice goalkeeper is one of the players who's unhappy, so who knows, who knows. But they're the players we've brought in. We have got some other deals that are currently ongoing. So if we have a look, Jay Mingy is someone we're bringing in from Portsmouth. He's actually there on a non-contract basis at the moment, so we've offered him some money. We will have to pay £125,000 in compensation. That bit I'm not looking forward to. So that deal might not end up happening because we're also looking to sign Niall John from Middlesbrough. So it's just a case of who's better. I mean, his current ability is not 4-star. He's 3-star. So it's whether Jay Mingy is better than Niall John, or is Niall John better than Mingy? The problem is we don't know much about Niall John other than he was recommended to us by my director of football, so I might take a gamble on that. We're also looking at Kian Pennant, who, I'm not going to lie, I've looked at previously, and the main reason I looked at him was to be a striker, but I'm now looking at him to be a winger. We had a bit of a back and forth with Leicester over him, and we've managed to agree something which I think would be decent, but we did have to, I mean, initially they didn't want any money for him, but he had to play as a striker, so we negotiated that because we're looking to bring another striker in. Damani Mala. This guy, I think, could be pretty good. He's pacey, he's 6'1", he's decent enough in the air. He's not spectacular, but he's decent enough in the air. 20 determination. Again, for some reason, we've gone down that route. A Manchester United youngster once upon a time. Currently at Wigan. We're looking to loan this guy... Wickham. And we're looking to loan this guy in, and we're looking to see whether he can do a job for us. And he's a scout. So, with those players in, I do think things will look a lot better. That is the squad as it stands. It's lovely having a 7-man bench for a change. Oh, I don't miss the 5-man bench. Definitely not. But we have still got a bunch of trial players in. But I think that's the bulk of the squad. It is mostly a 3-star squad. I think if Kian Pennant goes in on the right, it's a completely 3-star squad, which is somewhat of an achievement. We will start the season with Isaac Olaofe up front because Josh Phillips I don't think is quite ready yet. He's not had a very good pre-season. He's only played 1 or 2 games for us. I actually can't remember how many it's been. I think it's only been the one, and it wasn't very good against Linfield. Yeah, didn't have the best time out there, but it was only his first game, so hopefully he will grow into the season as time goes. He's another lad who's actually relatively tall, 6 foot tall. Jumping, reach, and heading aren't particularly good, but just a bit of physical presence there. I mean, physical presence with a strength of 7. Maybe not, Stu. Maybe not. But that is going to do it for this first episode. We've had to rebuild the squad a little bit. As a result, the dynamics are not as good as they might be. We've got a lot of unhappy players that we need to address at some point, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll sort it out. It'll be absolutely fine. So we will be back in the next episode against Sutton United. We'll probably then skip the Huddersfield game. We'll go straight to the home game at Prenton Park against Crawley Town. That sounds like a good plan to me. We do also want to know when we're next going to be coming up against Dartford, our former club, and it is going to be on the 18th. So we'll be playing them then. It'll be interesting to see where we are compared to where they are at that point, and to see whether we made the right decision. But yeah, that's going to be the way it goes. This is our friendly schedule, by the way. The friendlies we play. We did play an awful lot of them, I will say. Don't know whether it was the right thing to do or not. But as you can see, mixed results, because we did go against some big teams. Played against a few Premier League teams. We lost against all of them. But Aston Villa, 4-1 loss, respectable. Ipswich Town, 1-0 loss. Their championship, respectable. Nottingham Forest, 5-4, Premier League Nottingham Forest, that's respectable. Everton 4-1, respectable. Altrincham was a bit disappointing. We did beat Linfield of Northern Ireland though. And also, we battered Notts County. Have that, Notts County. Not that I'm a bitter man or anything. Right. Oh, couple of things as well. There were a couple of players we did really want to get back. Mark Helm and Joe Haig. They're both on here actually. We tried to loan both of them in after we missed out on them. They were two players who looked absolutely superb. Couldn't loan them in. Helm didn't want to come, and Haig, they were adamant he had to play in a position that we didn't want to play him in, and it just was never going to happen. So, didn't go for those in the end. I would love to bring one of them to the club later on in the this portion of the save, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. I will see you for the opening game of the season against Sutton United. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this first episode of the new club, then please do leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you never miss any of the Football Manager content to come soon from the channel. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Don't know why I'm pointing, but I am. See you in the next video. Cheers.